characteristics. He has a significant purpose here today, and that is to live in the present. That is to be here right now, not in the car, not driving around, but right here in the present. He has a present mind to be available for his children and to be ready for anyone that he introduces and anyone he meets and to be part of their life. Josh is extremely qualified to present the topic, living the present, because he has extensive experience in being absent-minded. So he's working in his growing desire to explore the present and be right here, right now, and mentally focused. Josh has recently won a few awards, most significantly a certificate of participation in a field excursion for the 6th grade. Nice, can we give him a round of applause? This is speech number 10, Confident Communicator section. Let's give our full Monty, our president attention to Mr. Josh Cantor. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you. I've got to start coming up with introductions that are less grand, I tell you. Talk about overpromising and under-delivering. Left to itself, the mind absorbs all our consciousness, and we cannot stop thinking. This is according to Eckhart Tolle. Have you ever noticed how thoughts about the past and about the future can distract us from the present moment? I'm talking about memories of successes, failures, regrets, pain, the things that we carry along with us, the baggage. I'm talking about goals about the future. Living in the clouds, you could say, always thinking about what's next. What's that next step in the ladder, the invisible mountain that we all climb? Those things can distract us from the present moment. So where does this absent-mindedness come from? Well, certainly one of the ways that we collect all of this clutter in our minds is because of a dissatisfaction with the status quo. An attitude that the way things are right now is just not quite what we want them to be. The idea that we desire to gain, we desire relationships, we desire wealth, we desire status, we desire reputation. All of these things that we want. In a way, each of us is like a social kleptomaniac, always wanting to take. And something interesting about the condition of being a kleptomaniac is that people who take things constantly don't do it because they have a greater desire for stuff. They do it because they don't have an inhibition that the rest of us have that keeps us from doing that. We all have the desire. It's just that kleptomaniacs don't have the balancing inhibition. Just as kleptomaniacs are never satisfied by grabbing that next item, so we're never satisfied by the next step in our lives because there's always something beyond that. As Maslow said, there's this hierarchy, and for every need that we achieve, the bad news is there's another need just out of reach. So how do we get satisfied? What is it that will take us from climbing that hierarchy of dissatisfaction to the point where we can say, in the present time, right here, right now, I have all that I need? Well, certainly there are several methods, and one we could think of as the count your blessings method. It's not just a saying that old blue-haired ladies like to repeat in church. That's a powerful mantra, is it not, for an awareness of satisfaction, that really the things that we have are families, our conditions, our society. In many ways, it's truly all that we need. As we count our blessings, we have a realization of that satisfaction. Another method that many people employ is meditation. Eastern and Western traditions alike value the idea of meditation or prayer in connection with the divine and cleansing our minds of the clutter and saying that right here, I can be present-minded and focused. How is it that this present-mindedness will affect our relationships? How will our relationships be changed by living right here, by letting go of past clutter by letting go of what is not yet and by living right now. Have you ever met a person who seems to be always distracted? You say hi to them and there's no energy. They're somewhere else. And have you ever met a person who is right there 100% of the time? You meet them, they are focused on you. Now we can't do that all the time. We need our downtime. We need our time to meditate, or we need our time to relax and to cleanse our minds. But we must choose those moments in life when we say, I'm going to be present-minded right now for this period of time, whether it's for a relationship, whether it's for a business interaction. We can say that right now I'm going to be focused. One way to do that, of course, in Toastmasters is to give a speech. Isn't that an amazing way that forces us to be focused on the present moment? There's not much opportunity for letting our minds wander there. So how will it affect our business ventures when we're present-minded? Couldn't we agree that when we deal with someone who is persuasive, who is focused, who is mentally energetic, we're likely to give that person what they want. We're likely to coalesce. We're likely to build relationships with that person, partnerships that help them in business. We're likely to think about how that person's energy can mix with our energy to create something with the two of us in business. Energy and mental focus, present-mindedness, affect our business success. One way that I think of is very important in redirecting our attention from the past and the future into the present is changing our value from wanting to get stuff and status to wanting to get knowledge. The proverbs and mantras of history and many traditions, of course, are rife with this concept that knowledge is more valuable than gold. Learning is the primary objective in life, not getting stuff. We could say that it's more valuable to pursue the next step of knowledge than to pursue a bigger house. And yet, what do we focus most of our attention on sometimes? We should take a look at that and consider the knowledge that is gained throughout this adventure of life is something that can bring us into the present moment, so we're not focused on the distraction. I'm beginning to feel more and more, and are you not feeling that intelligence is more a function of mental focus and present-mindedness than just the wrinkles in our brain? Maybe intelligence is not something we're born with as much as it is something that we gain through focus. And I'm also beginning to feel like managerial skill and spiritual and mental and ability go hand in hand. Have you ever met someone you would say is a skilled manager, a great leader, who is not involved in self-help books or personal development or spirituality in some way? I haven't. Every respected leader, I think that we have, might really value this idea of being present-minded, flushing the mind of the stuff that doesn't matter, and living in the present moment. I'd like to read a poem, if I might, that's written, it's not a source poem, it's anonymous, and it's written from a child's perspective, and it has to do with children valuing this idea of present-mindedness. Walk a little slower, Daddy, said a little child so small. I'm following in your footsteps, and I don't want to fall. Sometimes your footsteps are fast, sometimes they're hard to see, so walk a little slower, Daddy, for you are leading me. Someday when I'm all grown up, you're what I want to be. Then I will have a little child who will want to follow me. And I would like to lead just right and know that I was true. So walk a little slower, Daddy, for I must follow you. How many of us have had the opportunity to have children, or to mentor children, or to nanny children, or to some way invest in the next generation of children? Because you and you and you are the wealthiest and most satisfied person alive. So let us be present-minded in this endeavor to gain knowledge, and let us be aware of the fact that we have all that we need right here, right now. And I'm Toastmaster.
Now I'd like to have the timer please put on 2 minutes so we can ride